Hey parents, wake up, huh? If your kids are watching TV where everyone's jumping in the sack with each other, they're more likely to want to have sex themselves. Case in point, we have our first study that shows a link between TV watching and teen pregnancy. It found 12 to 17-year-olds who watched more sex on TV were twice as likely to be involved in a pregnancy. Now, I know this doesn't tell the whole story, but hey, our kids are better off if they're not watching shows like Sex and the City, Gossip Girls, Desperate Housewives, and so on. Taking your calls on this, 1-877-TEL-HLN. I think you know where I'm coming from. Joining us, Robert Thompson. He's a professor of television and popular culture at Syracuse University. Also with us, Dr. Lisa Boesky, clinical psychologist and author of the book, When to Worry, How to Tell If Your Teen Needs Help and What to Do About It. So this is right up your alley, Lisa. Hey, I'm not surprised. I've given up on TV. I mean, if they see it enough, they're going to want to do it, right?
Well, you and I have been talking about issues like this for a long time, and we finally have some data to back it up. I'm not surprised at all. We know that watching violence on TV makes you more violent. Why wouldn't watching sex on TV make you have more sex? And there's a lot of sex on out there. Yeah,
and what gets me, Robert, is these TV shows, they glorify the sex. We don't see the consequences. We rarely get, I don't know if ever, the STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, the true realistic consequence of pregnancy. That's what gets me. It's all, it's like they are exchanging a cup of coffee, jumping in the sack with each other. I think that's wrong.
Well, some of the programs. There's a lot of programs, however, that do show these things. What bothers me about these studies that claim that they've decided now a link is true is that that's not what that study does. There's a couple of things I think we have to pay attention to. First of all, teenage pregnancy has been going down over the past couple of decades, which exactly corresponds to television sex going up, 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 up. So overall, not this study, but overall, there's actually been a reverse correlation of sex on TV and teenage sexuality. Secondly, they find this linkage between people who watch, adolescents who watch a lot of sex on television are more likely to be involved in a teenage pregnancy. The immediate assumption that would logically be made there, to me, would not be that television is causing them to have sex. It would be those kids who are A, gravitating toward those kinds of programs, and B, being allowed to watch them because of perhaps negligent parenting, are more likely to get into situations where they're going to get pregnant. That's a big difference between linking the cause that TV is doing it.
Go ahead, Lisa, jump in, then I'm going to get some phone calls in real quick.
Sure. Well, the number one thing is we have over 1 million teenagers getting pregnant. And we've seen recently there's actually been an increase, most recently, and 1 in 4 teenagers have an STD. This is something we need to worry about, and I don't think anybody would deny that there's too much sex on TV. Rock of Love, Flavor of Love, I Love New York, Tila Tequila. Go at MTV today between 3 and 6 p.m. is a dating show that is purely filled with sexual innuendos. And so, yes, nobody's saying that this is the only cause of teen pregnancy, but this study they looked at parental education, they looked at demographic factors, and it's not just girls are more likely to get pregnant. Boys who are watching this stuff are more likely to impregnate
somebody. Exactly. Let's get some calls, and I think, Lisa, Robert, we can all agree parents have to do a better job of monitoring what their kids are watching, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that as this segment unfolds. Let's go to Courtney in Alabama. Courtney, what's your story?
Yeah, I'm 21, and I have 2 kids of my own. My sister's 23. She's got 2 kids. The majority of my friends are under the age of 25 and have kids between the ages of newborn and 4.
Did the TV watching and seeing sex all over the place influence you?
You know, and really not really, but I can understand how it does, because even cartoons such as SpongeBob have sexual content in them that a 5-year-old may not understand, but a 16-year-old will.
Wow.
Whenever SpongeBob works at the Krusty Krab in the Bikini Bottom, you know,
I hear you. Okay.
Like that. It's very obvious.
All right, Courtney, thanks. I'll say this. The sex is coming at our kids in not only TV, in the commercials, in the movies, in the magazines, in the radio, on the song lyrics. I mean, the temptation is so great for our kids. It's not, let's get another call in. Let me get one more call in, Robert, then I'll let you respond. Gloria in North Carolina. Gloria, go ahead.
Yes.
Hey, what are your thoughts on this, Gloria? Too much sex on TV or not?
Very, very so. Too much TV on, too much sex on TV. Children, they're not monitored. Their parents are either too busy working, or they're not there, or they don't have time. If they don't get it on TV, they're going to get it on the computers. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, all these nasty shows, just like I just heard
That's
about
right.
these guys, this guy with all his gold in his mouth, this girl, whatever her name, I forget, New York, all this filth. It's all dirty. It's horrible.
Yeah, it is. It desensitizes our kids. Thanks, Gloria. All right, Robert, go ahead and dive in there.
Well, I mean, this idea that somehow the media is making our teenagers want to have sex. I've got news. Biology makes kids want to have sex at teenagers. That's one of the plans of the universe. It's
Agreed.
why we still have people on the planet. And then
The TV's not helping, though.
that-
I think that's the point we want to make, and I'll
Yeah,
let you
but
finish, Brian. Robert, the TV's just not helping. Go ahead.
I think there is a lot on television that actually portrays sexuality in some sophisticated, interesting, and adult ways. Do I think 8-year-olds should be watching Sex and the City? Absolutely not. Do I think, however, we should look at all of our media and say, if it doesn't have a good role model, we shouldn't be putting it on the air? We'd have to get rid of, look at Shakespeare. Were Romeo and Juliet good role models? They killed themselves because they couldn't get together. Was Hamlet, was Macbeth good role models?
Right.
Great literature is filled with really bad behavior.
But as parents, you got to monitor what your kid's watching and don't let them watch the garbage.
Course.
Lisa, go ahead, wrap it up.
It's more than that. It's more than that. Even 2.5 Men, a family sitcom, you cannot get through an entire episode without sexual innuendo after sexual innuendo. I think it's a cop-out for us to not take responsibility of what's on TV today. It is saturated. When we were younger, there were not shows like this. It doesn't help the situation. We're not saying censor. We're saying be responsible.
No, exactly. Parents, you instill the values. Don't let some sex-crazed sitcom set the tone for what's going on in your house.